Today, I'm super excited because I have heard that this might be the best mid-range that MVP has ever made. So we're gonna test that out. Big shout out to my buddy, Greg, Arctic Cats Disc Golf. He bought like 17,000 Gyro-Palooza boxes. So he's letting me borrow these 2 detours today. And he asked me to only play 17 holes here at Lower Badlands because one of them, he doesn't quite trust me. I might break that rule though on hole 11 if I feel like I'm throwing these guys good. But I brought 4 discs to compare these to potentially. They're pretty flat for a semi-flippy mid-range. They're maybe supposed to be 5.5, -2.1, which is a really money type of disc. We got about 10 miles an hour wind going around here, so it's gonna be pretty fun and interesting to throw them all over the course today. I think I'd be pretty happy if we shoot 5 under par or better. Let's get on to hole number 1. The discs that we have to compare these with, you guys will see throughout. The main one that I'm interested in is the disc that I've been bagging this year, the Midnight Prowl 2, or just the general Origin. I brought a Midnight Prowl 2 in an Origin. All right, so hole 1, we're kind of going across the water to that white basket out there. My guess is, especially in a touch of this headwind, is to kind of pop them like this at the basket, expect a little flip, and see if they'll finish at all. I'm gonna look up the numbers after this hole, but these guys are letting me play through while they're walking across the lake. 2 off the top. Money. Okay, it's more stable than I thought, but it just kind of kept flipping the whole way. I'm gonna throw that same shot just a little bit to the right. There we go. Oh gosh. Maybe a little flatter for my liking. That might make it a really good like flip up forehand guy. If those first 2 throws, especially into a little heady, represent how that disc is gonna fly overall, I think the question that some people have been having of, is this the best MVP mid-range that's ever come out? When they have the Hex, the Uplink, the Paradox, it might be the case. Just for like general people. Like this might be what everyone wants the Hex to be. So shout out to James Conrad and the Conrad line for the detour. But we're only 1 hole in. You know I like to get ahead of myself. This honestly is like TSA level stamps, like Thought Space. Like this is one of the coolest stamps that I've seen in a while. Holy cow. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look crazy flippy, like the parting line wise. For instance, we'll take a look at just a general Origin, which I think is gonna be a little flippier. But this is another one that actually Greg gave me for the season. This is, whoa, actually, whoa. The detours are a little deeper. They look so similar. This looks a little shallower. Wow, that was way closer than I thought. We'll throw them next hole against it. And then we got 2 others to look at as well. I hope that wasn't too zoomed in. That might have been way too zoomed in, sorry. 1 down, baby. I do think these only come in the Gyro-Palooza boxes for now. One of the things that I love about the off season for me is I'm able to like make so much content about disc reviews so that when the season comes around in 2 or 3 months, I'll have like 50 new discs that I've tried, and then I'll have so many to choose from for my bag. This is gonna be tough because the wind is coming down this hill. We have about 340-ish feet, 345 to the basket up the hill. Definitely reachable with a mid-range, but in this wind, it's gonna be a little touchy with these guys. It's designed to fit between the Hex and the Uplink in stability. 5.5 -2.1 is what it's called. All right, we got the detours and we got the 2 Origins. The Midnight Prowl 2 is way more stable than just the stock Neo Origin. This one, even like just not even beat in, I think it flies much closer to the 5.5 -1.1, where this is almost a 5.5 -2.1. Those detours, I obviously didn't hit them very hard, just throwing them downhill like 320 or something. But up this hill, we're gonna have to put a good rip on them, so probably a bit of hyzer. I'll throw the orange one first because it did me well the first time. Oh no, that's gross. Detour? Yeah, that's money. Much better, that's pretty parked. Now for the Origins. For the Midnight Prowl 2 first, because that's the one that's in my bag. I think it's more of a right to left since it's coming down here. So it didn't really flip those as much as I wanted. I can't believe I shanked the first one that bad, but yeah. I mean, I would say that those 2 flights are probably gonna be pretty identical. If we threw the Midnight Prowl at a detour, the Midnight Prowl might be a little less left to right movement because it's a little domier, but they seem to fly pretty similar. Yeah, like look at how much flippier that one is. That one started on the same hyzer as the detour and wanted to push right even, whereas the detour just kind of pushed down the hyzer, the second one that I threw. Then you get some hand warmers or something. It's kind of crazy how much different like throwing your form feels when you're cold. Make sure I'm going through everything and like keep my body limber, like make sure I kick about or something or wiggle around to make sure I keep having blood flow to my shoulder, elbows, and knees. Money. A little long actually. So far, I'd have to say, if you like the Origin and you want to go all gyro, Detour is going to be your guy for sure. If you've been liking the Uplink and the Hex is like too overstable, this will probably be perfect. What you see the pros throwing the hex, you'll get that flight. If you want like that nice hyzer flip to turn disc, hopefully we see that here on this hole, if I can throw it right, at like a more advanced amateur to close to pro level arm speed. No, we're gonna stick with it. We're gonna let it redeem itself, the orange one. A little head left to right. This is 370, I believe, 370, 380-ish. Slightly downhill through this tunnel on a good amount of hyzer. That will flip up to flat and just like fly dead straight. Man, wow, it goes. Whoa, that's far. That's a little past the basket, but a little right. I think I wanted to throw that right at the basket and I pulled it a little. If I throw this one the exact same way, I'm not gonna show you that detour shot because I ended up really releasing the hyzer, but Midnight Prowl 2, I think this is basically what that disc is. And so it's gonna come down to feel, where this feels a little domier. To me, it feels a little more comfortable because it's shallower, whereas that's slightly deeper and slightly flatter. So it'll just depend on preference. That's basically the exact flight that we just got. Go in! That was a little short, a little premature. We do have a hex, so I'll show you the difference between those. I have heard people say that we should compare it to the Echo, and I thought I had one of those. Disc Golf Sugar Daddy Greg had one to give me, fumbled the exchange. I didn't end up taking the Echo. I forgot about it. Realized I didn't have it, so I'm sorry about that, but I would say the Echo is slightly more stable than this. Very marginally though. The Echo is gonna be closer to this than the Echo is to the hex than this is to the hex. But from my experience throwing the Echo before, the Echo is a little more stable. And then we have another disc, which I really loved in a recent video, which you probably won't expect the comparison of, but I think it's a good one. Money for the Midnight Prowl. Too easy almost. Let's go. Once and it's luck. That'll be my saying on my channel. I will say the only main flight difference that I see between these two is gonna come from the dome. You've heard me talk about it every time I talk about dome on the channel, but dome, my understanding is that the way that it moves through the air is slightly more gentle right and left than a flat disc, because the wind can't just like skateboard off of it. It has a little bit of a curve to go over. So this might gently move a little bit more to the right and to the left, but that might mean that this has a more pronounced finish, which I think we almost saw there, where it came back more left than I anticipated, but very, very similar. Very, very similar. Like if this was flat, maybe this disc. If this was domey, maybe this disc. I'm leaving you guys back a little bit on this hole so we can get a better idea of the flights. The basket is down there to the right, probably 350, maybe a little more, but downhill. We're gonna throw these and the hex. We'll throw the hex again, don't worry, because this is not the best view, but this is kind of a hard shot to shoot because of the trees in the way. Hit it hard and flat, let it turn, and then see how much they want to fight back. A little hyzer out of the hand. And that was the right choice. My body was correcting because that ended up sailing the basket. Now the hex, I think we will put a little turn. This is the Gyropalooza hex. I don't know why I'm screaming, you can hear me just fine, but really cool looking guy. We're gonna put a touch of turn on this because it will start to stable out. I did throw it in a recent Banana Froth video that'll be coming out soon. Perfect. I think that perfectly exemplifies the difference if you could see the flight of the disc. I started the hex like this and it panned and had almost the same flight as the detour, and the detour I started like this and it got to that flight. So about a 20-degree difference, I'd say, between the hyzers. All right, hole 5, 2 down through 4. Probably plays about 300-ish feet into now a head cross. So pretty difficult because you don't want to turn it over because it'll get beaten down. But you don't want to throw it flat or hyzer because then it's gonna get pushed left. So you kind of have to turn it over and throw it high. I'm not good at this shot. We're gonna try with the blue one. Keep turning. Ah, I like the angle I put it on, just way too nose up. Like that. Nope, too much. Oh man, or see how this thing flicks in? Uh-oh. That was a little aggressive. Gotta have some more discipline next time. All right, this is gonna make things interesting. This one, I was basically chalking up to a birdie, but they ended up moving it to a long position. So we got a headwind. You're gonna see kind of there's a guy standing out there right by the basket. So now we gotta punch on enough hyzer that they won't flip and turn. Also, that basket's like 360, I think, 350, something. It's over 340, I know that. So we're gonna throw these and the hex, and then we'll get to the last comparison. But we're gonna go back to the red one because we've been throwing that one pretty good. Yes, let's go. Finish, hard. I didn't see it, but I think we got it inside the circle putt. Oh, dude, this is such a good disc. I think I kind of ripped that one a little harder because I thought I needed to. Should I be a gyronaut? They've been kind of creeping in. I don't like the flatness of all their discs. When I'm throwing them the way I'm throwing them, it's kind of hard to say no. Okay, I don't know what to think about this. I felt like I threw the hex harder. Maybe I threw it worse because it's shorter than the Detour. Maybe the wind pick, there's a lot of factors that could come into that, but Detour has been consistently impressing me. Dude, why am I putting on so much hyzer? That almost went out of bounds. I don't know why we got the comebacker, but we do. It's really not as crazy flippy as you'd think. I mean, that shot is money. That's a perfect shot, honestly. All right, so I was gonna play a par 4 from that long position. Threw the first one, and I was surprised at how little it flipped, so I'm still definitely learning these. So we're kind of gonna scratch this hole a little bit. Don't tell anybody. But the second one got down to here, which is really solid. I was gonna add that in as the 18th hole since we're only playing 17, but I think I might be confident enough to play hole 11. We'll have to see when we get there. And I think it's probably true, because sometimes with my Origins, I feel the same, where if I throw it a little bit too high or nose up, like I don't actually pop it, because I'm like, oh, it's flippy, it's gonna flip. It doesn't, like it gets up to flat and it rides and then it finishes. So like, this is not your uplink. It's also not your hex, which is gonna be a little more stable. So it's I mean, it's right between them. It's what it says it is, you know? And you can pretty much expect that from MVP at this point. They're pretty good at that. I think the time lapse was honestly a little exception, where I think they probably released something that was a little different than what they were expecting, but these, right on the money. Nothing crazy, but the head left to right's there. So basically just throw it at hyzer, at the basket. It should flip up, shouldn't turn too much. Definitely turned a bit. One last shot with the Midnight Pro for this video. And then in the next hole, I'll show you the last contender. Go in. Oh man. Like, even though the Detour went shorter, you can see how much kind of more sharply it moves compared to that Midnight Pro 2. And I think that's the main difference. Oof. All right, so the last disc that we're kind of bringing out, I got in that Clash Discs 2023 box. It's the Sunny Peach. I really loved how this thing flew. I think it's closer to the Hex. Honestly, between this and the Hex is my guess. We'll go red one first. We got about 310 in the tailwind to the basket. So pretty easy hyzer. Just don't want it to flip too much. That's in. All right, make the correction, throw it in. Oh, too much lift. And now for the Peach. I think a little less hyzer will have to be what it takes to get it there. Whew. It's good. It's very similar. I do think the Peach is a little straighter though. Honestly, I don't think that someone should bag the Hex, the Detour, and the uplink. And maybe this is wrong, but like, I think less mids can be better to learn to manipulate the mids that you have, which is why I only really had 3 mids. I think there's probably room for 4. I feel like the gap is almost too close between the two, that you might be better served by just learning to throw on better angles with the mid ranges that you have. And you have like a Detour and a Matrix and a Pyro or a deflector. Or you have an uplink and a Hex and a Pyro, you know what I mean? I will say there's basically nothing that ever rivals hand feel of the plastic of the Neutron from MVP, but for some reason that Sunny Peach is so good. 250 something straight ahead. Good shot for this in a little tailwind. That's what the disc is made for, baby. Whew, a little higher and in the basket. A little over the basket. Hex. Stay up. Midnight Pro 2. Counter skip, counter skip, counter skip. Ah, kind of random, but time lapse. A little extra headwind lift there. 10, not gonna lie, I've never seen this position before. No idea how to get there. Don't know quite how the green shapes up. This might be a good disc for it. Maybe not in this, I mean, we got a pretty strong headwind, but if you throw it through the gap, it looks like you almost wanna like have a forehand that goes straight and finishes. We're just gonna try to get down there and give ourselves some sort of look. Oh! That's my worst throw in this hole, maybe ever. Oh my gosh. Try a little forehand. Oh, I should have done that. That is silky smooth. 3 through 9, I thought we were a lock for 5. It's gonna be good if we get up and down for bogey from here. I'm not sure what the line looks like, but there might be like a hero forehand flex. Oh, this is thorns though. So it'll be painful to throw the hero shot. As much as it pains me to do this in a YouTube video, get through. Oh, that's super short. Hero putt for the bogey save. Okay, I actually really like this position because you want to flex something stable through the gap. So you're gonna be playing with the left side, get it over here and crash back in. Or throw a hard forehand that skips off the top and gets lucky. It's a little poke and hopey, but I think overall it's a pretty sick hole. Oh! I'm excited to learn that hole. It's not often you get to a hole in Denver and they change it and you're like, oh, I gotta learn it. Typically it's like, okay, let me aim my hyzer more this way. All right, here's the dilemma. This is the hole. You hit that tree and you kick the wrong way, you're in the lake and you're screwed. This is the one that he's asked me maybe not to play, maybe. It's up to my confidence, obviously. Maybe not obviously. Maybe he was unequivocal about it. Who knows? I don't remember. Maybe intentionally. But I need this birdie. I need a birdie because I'm only 1 down now. I need 4 more in the last 8. I can get 4 of the last 7 for sure. But I feel like this is kind of necessary. Yes, redemption. No! Too much hyzer in the tailwind. I will not throw the second though, don't worry. Blue guy is just feeling like it's going in the basket right now. Oh, dang. Must make territory right here. You can tell I practiced a bit of putting over the last day. Can't keep embarrassing myself like I've been over. 12 is over through there. Pretty good shot with the detour, honestly. Also, before some people asked, probably after, honestly, in the comments, let's be real, but Buzz SS. I would say it's pretty similar. The Buzz SS in my Origin flew relatively similar, and this, I think, has that touch of stability that the Buzz SS does as well, especially if you get a flatter one. And I just, like the way that I was able to finesse that forehand down that gap, like, I think it'll be really useful. I'm not gonna forehand it here. I might forehand one if I throw a good backhand. Oh, that is a thing of beauty. Sit down though. That's what disc golf's about, man. You can't get over that flight. Even when you can get that flight in Denver, where the mid flight just gets sucked out of your soul. Let's see if we can forehand this blue guy. Oh, that's pretty too. I have no faith in giving it like actual distance, but I think I got around the tree. Step putt Anthony's coming back right now. Come on. Dude, I gotta dial back in that stepper. It's just so deadly. I think that, I mean, I wanna have both of them because I think they should move the circle back to 45 feet. That's my opinion. You shouldn't be able to step or jump inside of 45 feet or 47 feet. Make it 15 meters, keep the meters intact. I think, honestly, you should still be able to call circle 1 33 feet, call circle 2 66 for driving stats, but inside of 45 is where I don't think you should be able to step. Really just wanna punch something that stays on hyzer because it's not gonna push too far to the left. So you almost wanna like hug this tree because it's really not gonna push far left because it's too flippy. It's gonna wanna go straight instead of left. Just like that. Get under that tree. I think, if it didn't skip too hard, I think that's what I wanted to do. We'll throw the peach one more time, then understable. Oh, it's so good. This is where that bad shot came to. Thanks, tree. Peach was money too. We're back to 3 down, and we got 5 holes to play. We're feeling much better about ourselves. All right, we're gonna make this hole slightly harder by playing it from the back pad. We're going to the basket that you can see there. You have the left gap and the right gap. I typically play the right gap with an overstable flex, also like the flick line. I think that's what we're gonna try. We're gonna throw some forehands with it. Blue one's been liking the forehand. Got a little headwind, just a lot of hyzer. That's fine. That actually slowed it down enough that it's not juice past the basket. I think we're pretty parked. Get off it. Ah, perfect flip up. Oh, maybe I should. Holy cow. That's pretty money. I have too much fun flipping frisbees, dude. Just peachy. Detour. Midnight perdu. I also just realized that this is a battle, kinda, not really. We're not really throwing the midnight prowl every time, but I feel like that's basically what this disc is if it had dome, of 2 US champions. Kyle Klein, USDGC this year. James Conrad, 2019? I don't know. I got into disc golf too late. I don't know the years, I'm a fraud. Basket's up there, 210 feet or something like that, not far. Ah, don't throw some of those up. Got it. Yes, dude, practice gives you confidence. Yes. What? They moved this one. It's always like straight ahead. It's my favorite one to try to ace. It's gone. Uh-oh, way too left. Much better. Ooh, all right, I'm feeling like this has to kind of be like a little detour flick. But my blue one's up there, and that's my forehand detour. I mean, I think I could hyzer flip these putters, surprisingly, they're so flippy, but do it. So good, it makes me do reverse rotational lunges. Third time is not the charm. Basket is right down there in a bowl. Oh, towards this. Oh no. Sit. Thought that's the pin turn. Threw it too, baby. Wow. I know it was a terrible shot, but just watching that flight, I think I'm gonna have to like start like doing forehand only flippy mid rounds. I just feel so much touch with these right now. Beautiful. Like just the flight of that. Oh, that's why people love watching Joseph at another round so much. So good. All right, you're about to see a disc flying in from somewhere up here. Hopefully close to the basket. Man, this thing hung on by a thread up here. Oh, you can make it with a scuba. Oh, that had to have been close, right? Maybe not super, but definitely a bit long. These butts. The van's so tall. Go to my eye level, you can see it peeking up over there. The basket is kind of, I'll point out where it is about, at least it should be. It was when I got here. I think they probably moved the baskets before I got here, but it's still in the short position. I got some thoughts on these guys. That's really, oh, that might be too straight. Get left. Be a little long, a little straight. No, just the worst straight shot. I was actually really wrong because they moved the basket on me. Because the basket, when I got here, was there. Now that my shots are super close. This is a very glidey disc. They're like close enough to the long position here that we can give it a little bit of a bid. We'll throw one to the practice basket and putt one to the current position. Oh, I thought I made it. Wow, that's a good frisbee. It's incredible what like a little practice putting will give you confidence-wise. The detour grew on me. I think it's one that I would actually consider for my bag. I wasn't thinking that at the beginning of this round. I don't think it's better than the Midnight Prowl 2. It's just slightly different, but I really enjoyed how it threw, especially how it forehanded. Like I would reach for this if I wanted to forehand one of these. I'm kind of sad I have to give them back to Greg, to be honest, but they're really solid. I think MVP and James did a really phenomenal job with this disc. And I think I would say, at least of all the mids that I've tried, this has been my favorite MVP mid-range that I've ever thrown. Over the uplink, over the paradox, over the hex, over the matrix, over the deflector, over the pyro. I know those are like Axiom, and like over the echo, over all of them. I think this one, I don't know if it's better, but I like it more. So I think it's the best one that they made. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another recent review, check it out right there. Boom. James Conner, if you're watching these and or MVP and you want to like send me one to have for me, I would be happy. Otherwise, I might have to buy one before the season to see if it's gonna make my bag. But got plenty of time before that. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.